Okay, so I have to admit, I've been seeing these A5 planners everywhere lately, and I'm a bit skeptical. Are they really all they're cracked up to be, or is it just clever marketing? I mean, with all the digital tools at our fingertips, why are so many people turning back to good old-fashioned pen and paper?
That's a fascinating question, and I think it speaks to a deeper need for something tangible, a way to ground ourselves in a world that often feels overwhelmingly digital.
You're right. I can see the appeal of stepping away from the screen and engaging with your plans in a more tactile way. But what about A5 specifically? Our deep dive today is based on an article by Leo Shia, CEO of Lion Paper Products, titled A5 Planners, the optimal choice for organization and productivity. He makes some pretty bold claims about the benefits of this particular size.
He does. Shia lays out 7 compelling reasons why A5 planners might just be the Goldilocks of the planner world, as he puts it.
Okay, let's unpack those reasons. Starting with his claim that A5 offers the ideal portability.
Think about it. You're constantly on the move, juggling work, personal life, maybe even squeezing in a side hustle. A5 planners at roughly 5.8 by 8.3 inches seem to hit that sweet spot. Small enough to slip into a bag, yet spacious enough to actually be useful. Shia even points out that most weigh less than a pound.
That makes sense.
You
I've
can't.
tried using those tiny pocket planners, but I always feel like I'm cramming my thoughts into a tiny box. But then lugging around a massive desk planner isn't exactly practical either.
Exactly. And this ties into Shia's second point about ample writing space. He claims A5 planners offer 30% more writing space compared to those pocket-sized A6 planners. It's not just about fitting more words on a page, it's about having the freedom to think expansively.
I'm starting to see why he calls it the Goldilocks size.
Hmm.
But does more writing space actually translate to better organization and productivity?
Right.
I mean, couldn't that lead to more clutter and overwhelm?
That's where it gets interesting. There's actually a growing body of research that suggests the benefits of externalizing our thoughts. Having enough space to jot down notes, brainstorm ideas, and even doodle can help reduce cognitive load and free up mental space for more focused thinking.
So it's not just about having room to write. It's about creating a space for your mind to breathe. I like that. Now, what about Shia's claim that A5 planners are incredibly versatile? Does he really believe one size fits all?
He argues that A5's adaptability is one of its greatest strengths. Whether you're a student juggling coursework, a busy professional managing multiple projects, or a creative entrepreneur sketching out designs in A5 Planner can be tailored to fit your specific needs.
I can see how that would be appealing. But wouldn't a specialized planner designed for a specific purpose be more effective? Like a planner specifically for project management or creative brainstorming?
That's a valid point. But here's where A5's compatibility with accessories comes in. Shia emphasizes the sheer variety of dividers, pockets, stickers, and other tools available, allowing you to customize your planner to suit any purpose. It's like having a blank canvas for your organizational system.
So you're saying it's not just about the planner itself, it's about building a personalized system that works for you.
Precisely. And this ties into a concept called metacognition, which is essentially thinking about your thinking. By customizing your planner, you're engaging in a process of self-reflection, figuring out what helps you stay organized and productive.
Okay, that's making a lot more sense now. It's not just about buying a planner. It's about designing a system that supports your unique way of working. But let's be honest, a lot of people are drawn to A5 planners for their aesthetics. They're Instagrammable, and they come in a dizzying array of styles.
Absolutely. And Shia acknowledges this, highlighting the wide range of designs and formats available. Whether you prefer a minimalist black and white layout or something bursting with color and patterns, there's an A5 planner out there to match your personality.
So it's not just about function. It's about finding a planner that sparks joy, right?
Exactly. And there's something to be said for that. When you enjoy using your planner, you're more likely to stick with it, making it a sustainable tool for organization rather than another abandoned notebook at the bottom of your bag.
That's a good point.
Ah,
But I'm still a bit skeptical about all this talk of sparking joy and creative expression. Isn't a planner supposed to be about, planning?
of course. But Shia argues that the larger page size of an A5 actually encourages more creative thinking. There's room to mind map, sketch out ideas, and even doodle. It's almost like inviting your right brain to the planning party.
Interesting. So you're saying that by combining the practical elements of planning with a bit of creative freedom, you might actually boost your productivity.
Exactly, and there's research to back this up. Studies have shown that visual thinking can enhance memory problem solving and idea generation. So those doodles and mind maps might actually be helping you process information more effectively.
Okay, so we're seeing how A5 planners might not just be about schedules and to-do lists, but could also tap into something more creative and intuitive. I'm starting to understand the appeal.
And it's not just about personal productivity either. Sheena suggests that A5 planners can actually enhance collaboration and communication.
Really, I wouldn't have thought a simple planner could have that much impact on teamwork.
Well, think about it. When you're working on a project with others, clean communication is essential. And an A5 planner, with its ample writing space and versatility, can serve as a shared visual tool for brainstorming, delegating tasks, and tracking progress.
So it's like a physical manifestation of a project management app, but without the distractions of notifications and endless email chains.
Precisely. And by physically writing down ideas and plans, you're engaging in a more active and mindful process, which can lead to better understanding and retention among team members.
I can see how that would be beneficial, especially for teams that thrive on visual communication and collaborative brainstorming. But let's be realistic, not everyone is a natural planner. Some people find the whole process overwhelming and restrictive.
That's a fair point. But I think it's important to remember that planning shouldn't feel like a chore. And that's where Shia's emphasis on personalization comes in. He encourages people to experiment with different layouts, try out various accessories, and really make the planner their own.
So it's less about following a rigid system and more about finding what works for you.
Exactly. And this ties into the concept of self-efficacy, which is the belief in your own ability to achieve goals. When you feel empowered to create your own planning system, you're more likely to stick with it and see positive results.
I like that. It's about taking ownership of your time and your goals rather than feeling bound by someone else's rules. But what about the argument that digital tools are simply more efficient? I mean, you can't sync an A5 planner to your calendar or set reminders.
That's true, and digital tools certainly have their place. But there's also a growing awareness of the potential downsides of our constant connectivity. Studies have shown that excessive screen time can lead to digital fatigue, reduced attention spans, and even sleep disturbances.
So using an A5 planner could be seen as a form of digital detox, a way to intentionally disconnect and reclaim some mental space.
Exactly. And by engaging in the physical act of writing, you're actually stimulating different parts of your brain, which can enhance memory focus and even creativity.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's not just about choosing between analog and digital. It's about finding a balance that works for you.
Precisely. And it's about recognizing that different tools serve different purposes. An A5 planner might not replace your smartphone, but it can offer a valuable complement, providing a space for reflection, intentionality, and creative expression.
Shia's final point in his article is about the cost-effectiveness of A5 planners. He claims you can find quality options for as low as $15, but wouldn't the cost of all those fancy accessories add up quickly?
That's a valid concern. However, Shia also emphasizes that the real value lies in the planner's versatility and longevity. A well-made A5 planner can last for years, especially if you choose a refillable option. And compared to the cost of some digital planning subscriptions, it can actually be a more economical choice in the long run.
So it's about investing in a tool that will support you for years to come, rather than getting caught up in the latest tech trends.
Exactly. And by choosing a planner that you genuinely enjoy using, you're more likely to make it a part of your daily routine, maximizing its value and impact.
I'm starting to see why so many people are passionate about their A5 planners. It's more than just a trend. It's a lifestyle choice.
And it's a choice that reflects a growing awareness of the importance of mindfulness intentionality and the power of analog tools in our increasingly digital world.
Okay, so we've explored Gia's 7 points, and I have to admit I'm feeling much less skeptical than I was at the beginning of this deep dive. But I'm curious, beyond the practical benefits, could using an A5 planner also impact our emotional well-being?
That's an excellent question and one that I think deserves further exploration. There's a growing body of research that suggests a connection between journaling and improved mental health.
Really? You mean just the act of putting pen to paper can have therapeutic benefits?
Exactly. Writing can be a powerful tool for processing emotions, reducing stress, and gaining clarity on our thoughts and feelings. And an A5 planner with its dedicated space for notes and reflections can serve as a personal journal capturing not just our schedules but also our inner journeys.
So it's not just about managing time, it's about managing our mental and emotional well-being as well.
Precisely. And by integrating self-care practices like gratitude journaling or daily affirmations into our planning routine, we can create a more holistic approach to productivity that nourishes both our minds and our spirits.
I love that idea. It's about creating a system that supports our overall well-being, not just our ability to check things off a list. But I'm wondering, with all this emphasis on personalization, Could A5 planners also become a form of self-expression?
Absolutely. Think about it. You're choosing a planner that reflects your aesthetic preferences, customizing it with stickers and dividers that represent your interests, and filling it with your unique handwriting and personal reflections. It becomes a tangible extension of your personality and your creative spirit.
So it's like a blank canvas for both organization and self-discovery.
Exactly. And by engaging in this process of creative expression, we're not just planning our days, we're crafting a narrative for our lives.
I'm starting to see A5 planners in a whole new light. It's not just about productivity, it's about intentionality, creativity, self-care, and even self-expression.
And it's about recognizing the power of simple tools to transform our habits, our mindset, and ultimately our lives.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the potential of A5 planners. I started out skeptical, but now I'm seeing how they can be so much more than just a scheduling tool.
I think that's the beauty of taking a deep dive into any topic. We often have preconceived notions that can limit our understanding.
So true. I was initially focused on the practical aspects, but now I'm intrigued by the idea of using an A5 planner as a tool for self-discovery and creative expression.
And that's where the real magic happens, when we move beyond simply managing our time and start using these tools to shape our lives in a more intentional way.
You mentioned earlier the concept of metacognition, thinking about our thinking. Do you think using an A5 planner can help us become more aware of our own thought patterns and habits?
Absolutely. The act of physically writing down our goals, plans, and reflections can bring a level of awareness that's often missing when we're just mentally juggling everything. It's like holding a mirror up to our own minds.
I can see that. By externalizing our thoughts, we can start to see patterns, identify areas where we might be self-sabotaging, and make more conscious choices about how we spend our time and energy.
Exactly. And it's not just about becoming aware of our negative patterns, it's also about recognizing our strengths and celebrating our accomplishments. An A5 planner can become a record of our progress, a tangible reminder of how far we've come.
That's a great point. It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind and lose sight of the bigger picture. Having a visual representation of our goals and milestones can be incredibly motivating.
And it can help us stay accountable. When we write down our commitments, we're more likely to follow through. It's like making a promise to ourselves, and the act of writing it down solidifies that commitment.
Okay, so we've talked about the practical benefits, the creative potential, the emotional well-being aspect. But I have to ask, is there a downside to using an A5 planner? I mean, it all sounds a bit too good to be true.
Well, like any tool, it's not a magic solution. It requires effort and consistency to make it work. And for some people, the initial investment of time and energy to set up a system might feel overwhelming.
Right. And there's always the temptation to buy all the fancy accessories and get caught up in the aesthetics rather than focusing on the actual planning.
That's true. It's important to find a balance between functionality and aesthetics. The planner should serve you, not the other way around.
So it's really about finding what works for you, experimenting with different approaches, and not being afraid to adjust your system as your needs evolve.
Exactly. And it's about being kind to yourself. There's no one right way to use an A5 planner. The most important thing is that it helps you feel more organized, focused, and fulfilled.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. We've
Right.
gone from questioning the hype to uncovering a whole world of possibilities.
I agree. It's amazing how a seemingly simple tool like an A5 planner can spark such a rich conversation.
So for our listener who might be feeling inspired to try out an A5 planner, what advice would you give them?
Hmm. I would say start by defining your goals. What do you hope to achieve by using a planner? Is it better time management, increased productivity, more creative expression, or a combination of all these things? Once you have a clear sense of purpose, you can start exploring different layouts and systems to find what resonates with you.
And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different pens, stickers, washi tapes, whatever sparks your creativity.
Exactly. Make it your own. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Well said. And who knows, maybe in a year's time we'll be back here doing another deep dive into the evolution of your A5 planning system.
I'd love that. Until then, happy planning.
And for our listeners, if you decide to embark on the A5 adventure, we'd love to hear about your experience. Share your discoveries, your challenges, and your triumphs with us on social media. This is just the beginning of the conversation.
And remember, the best planning system is the one that works for you, the one that helps you live a more intentional, productive, and fulfilling life.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing.